Hey guys, I'm so excited to do a bear and a birch tree this week. You know why? Because the Bears are in the division playoffs this Saturday against the Rams. And I'm from Chicago. And this is big news for people from Chicago because it's been quite a while. I'm from the era with the Super Bowl shuffle, Sweetness, William Refrigerator, Perry, McMahon, the whole thing. And this is exciting for people from Chicago. Okay, so I'm doing a little bear just for good vibes, good juju for this week. When I showed you guys in the traceable, the really it's just a tiny bear shape. So kind of think oval with two small ears and then a little rounded body and then some front legs and a back leg. And then the traceable's there too if you want to see it or zoom in to get a little bit closer, get that on your paper. And then just a line for kind of the snow or the horizon here is about a fourth of the way down. I'm doing a 3x3. You guys absolutely can do this at whatever scale you want. Also, I took painter's tape. So I have a regular painter's tape. I think this is a 1 inch. And then I cut it up into smaller pieces to save the white for the birch trees. You can also use, I have this 1/4 inch tape, which is also fabulous, that I use for around the edges of keeping the edges of my minis. But I did take that, I did want to use blue so you guys could see the difference between the black and the blue. I've wet down my background while we're talking. Oh, I almost dropped in some blue while we're talking. I've wet down the background. I wanted to show you I have a little moon glow, which is a purpley blue. I have blue, like a cerulean blue. I have a rose of ultramarine. These are Daniel Smith paints, but basically what we want is a light blue, a light purple, and some browns. That is literally it. We're going to leave white for the bulk of our snow in the front, and we're going to let a lot of the paper do the work for us. We have a really cool technique to do later with the birch trees. I'm going to use, because I'm doing a mini, I'm going to use this back of my one of my paint tubes for it. If you're doing a bigger one, you could use a credit card or something. We're going to drag some cool color across the birch trees to make those lines and effects. So here's some of the Daniel Smith colors that I have and I work with. I want you guys to know that you absolutely can mix any of this. I have quite a few. Some people work with just the primaries. That's perfectly fine. A limited palette. I am going to be using, like I said, a lightish blue, a purple. I have a Payne's gray, but you can also use a darker. You could even use black there. I have a sienna, which is a brown, reddish brown. You guys could mix in a little red to your brown. And I have a raw umber. So we are ready to go. I want you guys to get a brush that's the right, a decent size. I have a 4. You could use a 6. I'm later going to switch to a 2. But right now, let's wet the entire background. So we have a good, not super crazy wet, just wet, we're wetting. And when I had put on my spaces, you guys, did I mention you also could mask it out with something like a masking fluid to keep your space white? That's just way too much work for me right now. And it would just be doing a lot of the page with it. So the tape is just as easy and easier. So that's why I did it. Okay. So let's let that be pretty saturated. I painted everything but the bear. So everything between them, not too much water because I'm afraid some of mine's going to seep under there. We'll see how it goes. And then what I'm going to do is get a little of my blue, my light blue, with a little purple. I'm just looking kind of for like a little wintry scene background. And I really want this to be just light, but we can drop it in back here. So drop in your little wintry background just back here behind all of the trees, and it's going to be really light. We want that because we're going to add in a few little tree details back there too. So let's just keep it really light right now. Okay, I've got this. I'm afraid I just put in so much water over here. I'm afraid that's going to cause a disaster. We'll see. It's all fun. It's all just an experiment. Because I'm really having so much fun with this watercolor. I found so many cool things in the last year that I love. I'm an acrylic artist by for most of my life, and I cannot believe I'm just discovering some of this now. It's magic. Really, it is. And it's very, I shouldn't say fluid. That's exactly what it is. But it's just so like fluid and freeing, and love it. Okay, I'm going to be careful to go around this bear because I don't want to get any stuff in him or her. Okay, so I'm going to drop a few little more colors in here. A little bit darker blue, not much. If we're saying like a little tiny bit, I might put some up here. And then in a minute, like 30 seconds maybe, just giving that a little time to dry, I'm going to get a little bit of a more purple into my blue, almost gray. I'm looking to get sort of just a little darker, not too much darker. Add some blue to that so we're making sure it's actually looking blue. And while everything's still wet, I'm going to just throw a few lines up here. And this will be like a couple of trees too back there as they dry. So let's do, they're going to spread out a little bit. That's totally fine. See what we're doing, just adding on top of the already wet. So take your brush and use it on the point because we're trying to get it a little more skinny. So put this, I might do a trunk that's a little bit bigger there and then drag it up. And this is all going to blend in back there ideally, but still look like tree trunks, but they're looking way back there in the distance. See that? And let's do like one more right here. I want to keep some of the middle open. And then I might do a little line. I might do like a little darker blue. A little bit more on my brush. Lines here that show up. There, see? Those. And then let's do a couple like looking like branches. See there? Maybe over here. And then I'm gonna sort of just dot down here a little bit so it's looking like some trees are back there. Against this tree. So we're doing just really, really getting the hint that these trees are back here. And I'm putting a little bit more at the bottom. So they're just sort of anchored at the bottom. See? It's looking good already, guys. Do you love it? I always ask that in tutorials. Do you love it? Okay. I might just, let's just put a couple dabs in here to look like, I don't know, a couple of maybe far off, not leaves necessarily, but there's something. A couple of things back in here we might want. Just make a couple of dabs. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm just going to dry and dry lighter for sure. It's looking really good now. Put a little streak here and there. We really just want this to be super light back there. And I think that's what we've got. Okay. Now take some of that, what we had, this purple. We had a little purpley here. And blue. Let's get some of that back. And I want a really light purple is what we're going to want just for a little bit of shadowing on the snow. Okay, let's do a little blue first. So I've got my blue. This snow area down here should be still wet. So let's take our areas like under the trees and just do some dabs. Some here. So see, we're just kind of creating a little bit of snow. Let's do a little bit on the side of the bear. Just creating some shadows a little bit. Some dots. We just want there to be a little texture. Now, let's add in like this kind of purple, but it's a muted purple. We're not throwing in like bright purple. This kind of a plum. I have this color called Moon Glow. I'm obsessed. It is, it separates out into its pigments. Like here it is dark. And then when you put it on the paper, it separates out into red and purple. It's awesome. Okay, so you can use Moon Glow. You can just make your own. Mix in some red with some purple. And I might put in just a dab more of red because I wanted to have kind of a cool little pinkish look over here. Okay, so dab that in. I'm going to do that here, base of some of the trees. Maybe we'll get a couple of lines coming out like this, just to look like there's a little bank there, a little snowbank. Snowbank coming off some of these trees. Like that. Really, this is no big deal. We're just adding in the idea that there is some snow. That shadow. That's all we have to do. I'm going to do the tiniest little bit more ready. Okay, done. Fully done. Okay, with that, I want now to, well, no, I lied. We're not done. I want to add a little bit more, little darker strand of that in blue. I want some blue just on top, just like 2 places, maybe that, on the snow we just did. It's wet, but it's okay enough to add. Okay, so I'm gonna just do tiny, and I'm working with a mini, so I'm doing just really tiny little lines, almost to look like I'm dabbing the water off of my brush so it's not too wet, almost wanting this to look like little reeds or stuff, whatever, some like little grasses that are still around in the winter. We can add those in a couple of places. Like little lines coming in. Okay, that's good. We don't need much more. We're fine. If you see an area you want to darken a little bit, you can. Okay. Now, are you ready? Are you even ready for the fun part? Let's peel and see what we've got for your trees. So peel your trees. Nice. And take a couple minutes to get that all going. Yeah, it worked. It worked okay. I was afraid because I put so much water on the side that it would have seeped under, but we're good. Okay, there we go. And then we are going to get whatever you're using, your hard credit card. I'm using the bottom edge of one of my paint tubes. And I'm going to mix up. I'm going to use a little brownish, a little bit of brownish and Payne's gray. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to get it really wet, the puddle that I'm going to use for this. So here's what I'm doing over here. See, I'm getting my Payne's gray in a big puddle. You can use you can use a darker brown, whatever. This is the lines for the birch tree. And we want it to be kind of a puddle, but enough that it's going to show up for us. Okay, so here we go. Take the bottom of your, whatever hard thing you're using, and dip it in there. Dip it in your little watery mixture. I'm shaking up a little bit. And then hold it straight up and drag it across. Need some more. Drag it across your birch trees. Push mine a little more. You really have to push kind of hard. And it gives you this cool little effect of just kind of dragging it all around different places. You can go into the other side. We have minis here, so we have a lot of it's being looking pretty good. See, there's going to be some areas that get more of a mark than others. That's totally fine. Okay, let's do the one in the back. This one's just going to get tiny dots. See how I'm just dragging it, making a cool effect for us. So fun and so easy. I'm gonna whip in a little brown there too, just because we can do both. Okay, and then I'm not going to do these back 2 trees with this dark color. This is going to give us an illusion of depth, guys. So let's just do our 2 closest trees to us, which are these over here, like we did already. We've got this one. Remember, get it really wet, drag it across. And then we have also on the other side of this, I'm sorry, behind this one, we've got this. So get in there and get that one as well. So fun. Whatever you're using. I'm having a little hard time now, guys. I'm not going to lie. I need to get more paint. There we go. There. Okay, drag it across, and then I want to go in from that side. And then I'm gonna have us do one more cool thing with that in the back. But right now we can put, while we have it here, we can drag across a couple of branches if we want to too. See, I'm using the back end of my thing with my paint. If you guys have a card, whatever you're using, you can also drag it across. We'll bring a couple of those over. And then we have that. We don't need it so dark, but so be it, that happened. We got that. And then maybe a couple of things that might be coming out here. Okay, cool. Now, what we're gonna do, I don't like this one so dark. I'm gonna dab it really quick. You just dabbed it and made it lighter. Simple. So now, because the ones in the back are further back, I want us to do a lighter, like a bluey purple. See this? This like a bluey purple color instead of the Payne's gray. Okay, so that's that I'm gonna do now, like a bluish, purplish. And then we're gonna do that for the trees in the back. So it's just looking a little bit lighter. Do you see what I mean? You'll see when I put it on. Okay, getting a bunch of little stuff on my thing, and then these are the trees that I'm gonna do this bluish color with. See, guys? It's not that, it's subtle of a difference, but it's a difference. It's just a little bit lighter than the darker that we were working with up in the front. So we have it looking like these are a little bit more in the back. You see? Easy. And they'll spread out for us a little. Then we'll just get a little bit back on this guy. That should spread out and be nice back there. Just what I'm saying, like it's subtle, but it's darker here and lighter here. And it will dry even lighter than that. And then we'll be happy with it. Okay. I'm going to take a paintbrush and take some of that blue and then darken in the bottom some of this bluish that I was using on the card. And I'm going to do a couple of chunks at the bottom, a little darker down there, and same over here. I'm just going to make a couple of darker areas for these trunks. All right, and then a couple with my paintbrush, I'm going to do a couple of lines, thin lines across. Give it a little bit more in there. These are the two different trees, so I'm going to do some over here. See? And then let's go, I'm going to go back to my darker purpley color. Put that into some of my trees as lines straight across. And then same over here. Couple of in here. I have some full-on lines that are going straight across. Pretty good, huh? Couple of lines just to do it across, and we have like really cool markings. Now, I want you guys to take the bluish purplish, and I'm getting a little more purple into it. This is a shadow color, and we are now running this up the side of this tree. See? We're going to dab it into here so that we have the definition of this tree kind of outlined a little bit. And then we are going to do kind of the same. We're going to get this along the bottom of this tree, the bottom of this one, and then we'll do it on the side. Keep the same side as you did over here. So we're working with the right side and getting these in here. And then we have it just really light. Whatever's left on your brush, just use a really light bit to separate these a little bit. But we want barely to see that. Use a really thin line. Okay. Now, one cool thing we can also do is do a little brown. So we have like a little umber. And let's get that kind of wet and put that up the bottom of this one. There you go. Just a couple of little dabs of that. Same with this one. It'll dry really cool. And I'm gonna do like sort of a purpley brown one over here. Kind of got that already. A couple places. Okay, now we can do a really light brown now with in a couple places like at the top and stuff. So let's do a couple there. So we're kind of keeping it darker on the right side. Put that in a couple places here, maybe a couple of places over here. So that the tree isn't just stark white, you've got some other colors going on. And we do want to make it look like there's snow. So we'll keep some, we'll do that mostly on top of the branches. Okay, I'm going to get this little moon glow purpley that I have, that I love. So with you guys, it would be just kind of a dark, if you don't have it, which you may not, just kind of a darker purple. And then I'm going to, for fun, throw that in. One little spot here. Maybe one spot here where I'm just making some of the areas that are darker. Because we're trying to have, you know, our lights and darks. So let's make one couple little dark dabs here and there. At the bottom of the tree. And then some of our dark and our brown definitely down here. Okay, so we're adding all that. It's starting to look pretty good. We want to make sure that some of these, this branch is definitely enough. This one is enough. So, okay, since we're on branches in our last little bits back here, let's go into a blue. And I'm cleaning this up a little bit, guys, because it's kind of a mess. So you can see what I'm doing. Okay, let's get a little bit of a blue, cerulean blue I have. And a little more purple. And then we're going to put a little bit more back here as branches. We want these to be kind of visible, but not super crazy. We did these back here, so let's just make sure we've got a few more things coming off here. These branches that might be a little closer. And then maybe between here we have a couple that are just kind of hidden between here. Put a couple dabs of the darker blue. Dark back there, so we're just trying to really give the hint that there's things there, but they're in the back. I love this. I hope this is good juju for the bears. We can do this. We can do the Chicago. I'm putting in some stuff over here. I'm feeling good about it, you guys. Do you notice? I have been out of the Midwest for like 30 years, but whenever I think about it, talk about it, or visit or talk to my family, I suddenly get this Chicago accent back. The Bears, car, get some pop. I have the whole thing, but you would never know. Otherwise, I'm just randomly putting dots here because why not? I really don't know why I'm doing it. I just feel like we need dots. So I'm just giving a little texture back here with these little dots. I don't even know. We don't know. You don't need those if you don't want them. Okay, what else can we do with our trees? Let's think about that. I think a couple of lines. I'm going to use a little warmer brown now. There will be some of that in the bear too. So let's do just a couple lines with like a warmer brown on this side of the tree somewhere. You can drop them in wherever you like. I'm going to do a couple on this tree. Just a couple of places so we have a little different than just straight everything. Just a little, guys. We don't want a lot. We don't want a lot of warm color because it's cool. This is cool winter, but it adds a little something. All right, one more I would like to strengthen as this one dried a little bit is a little purpley, bluey gray. And then dab that back here a little bit. Not too much. And then same over here. We need just a little more purpley, bluish gray. This one needs a few lines. No, this is just going to be disappearing back here. And that's fine too. This will sort of be disappearing back here. This can become blurred together. Okay. I'm super happy with that. We're going to let that go for now. And how are we feeling about the bottom? I think we're good there. Are you guys ready for the bear? I'm so excited for the bear. This is the whole point. Bear down, Chicago Bears. Okay, we have, let's get a light brown. Oh my gosh, that's really a lot. But that's actually a light sienna-y brown. I also want to get a brown, like a burnt umber color. So I got my burnt sienna. I have my brown, my darker brown here. I'm also going to want a purple. We're going to shadow the bottom of this guy in purple. You guys, you're going to have to get your magnifying glass. We're doing this so tiny because it's mini. If you're working bigger, it might be easier, but we're working super mini. I'm going to do like a blue, brown, sorry, blue purple for the little highlighting that's on there. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? Let's do that first. Let's do a really light layer of the purple. And this is just down here where it's going to be really dark under his bottom leg. So let's get that. We're going to do right now wet on dry, and we want it really pretty dry. Okay, I'm putting in just a little purple down here. Most of that is legs. And this is going to shadow also the back leg. This whole thing right here. And then we have this part here. And then that's going to be the kind of base for the color. We're going to put a little bit of brown down there too. Okay, we've got that. That's like our little shadow. Okay, now we're going to do our lighter brown. And I have a color called Buff Titanium, but you can just make your brown a little lighter. I'm lightening my sienna color a little bit and making it like a little bit of a neutral brown. And I'm going to drop that in here into the head. And we'll make the ears darker, but for now I'm just getting them ready. Just fill them all in. And I'm going to be really careful to leave a little oval here for the snout and the nose. So I'm leaving that and going around that. Okay, so we've got our little brown. We coming down here. A little bit on the edge can be brown and not as much in the shadow. There we go. That's our first layer. I'm going to let him dry a bit. Just a bit. And then we're going to get ready with a darker layer of brown. We can start that now, really. It doesn't have to be super dry because we're going to put it right on top. I'm going to put this inside the ears. I'm just dabbing a darker on. I am going to put that a little bit on the right side of the head here. Legs. And I'm going to put a little darker around the face here. Outline where the okay, good. Now I'm gonna do a little of the orange color and add that into the coat back here. Dab in some orange. So it's more of a sienna. And here. And then I am going to maybe a little around the ears. Now, I'm going to get this darker. I'm going to use a Payne's Gray along with brown, and that's just now going to go over the top of what we had here. And I want this to really go all the way up. This is the whole shadowed front of this guy. So it's going here, and it's going down. It's really like, almost like overalls looking right now. Like these are the overalls. And then I'm trying to keep that a little rounded over there. And then we want the bottom of this one to be that same darkish color. The bottom of the background. Okay. And make sure these are connected. This leg looks like it's floating off there. I don't need to get too muddy, so I'm leaving it right now. We can do a little bit of dark on this side. Okay. Now, he's looking super cute, is he not? Love it. We want to make sure we're keeping a little bit of light over here. And a little bit of a little light area that we have. We've kept that. This little area here. And then let's do, I think we're pretty good right now over here. I just covered over the ear. We need to go back. Okay. There we go. Super cute. And it's got some character. I'm gonna use a pen to add some of the details in here. A black marker. You could also use a really skinny. I'm working now with a 2. You can also use a 1. Guys, since we finished the bear just about, I think we're gonna add in a little snow, a little more snow shadow around it too. That's what this is separate, so I'm just adding that in. Okay. Now let's do a little bit more. We were talking about having a little shadow here in snow. So let's get some more, so like a little really super light, and let's just add it right under these legs. Back here. Super light. Okay. I'm happy with that. Are you guys? So I have something really fun we're gonna do, and I have a white paint marker. You guys may have white acrylic. You could have a white gel pen, anything like that. But I'm gonna use this to dab in just some snow here and there, on top of the trees, around. Not really on top of the bar. I might. I don't know. I like there. Okay. Dab some. Also, here's what we're going to do. Take your branches and make some snow piled on top of them. This will make it look really good. Look. It now gives you that, like, sort of illusion that there's some snow. You can make a couple of things here, back there. Can put in a couple of white patches into our tree. Like, we can make this. A couple of these lines here. Here's some dots. I need more snow. You could flick it too. You could take some white watered down paint, flick it on. I'm just happy to dab at the cat. got that. I'm gonna do in here the tiniest little white so that that nose area stands out a lot. And then I think that's it, y'all. I'm pretty happy with the way it's looking. We're gonna peel this off, and I think you're gonna be happy with it too. Let's do the pen though. I want to get a really thin. I have a 0.38 thin pen, and that one's not working, so I'm gonna get a different one. Something really thin. If you're working on the mini, this needs to be super thin. Not even. Oh, okay, I've got one here. This is a ballpoint. It's much better to have a felt tip for this one, but this is gonna work. Okay, then I just want to really tiny, two eyes here, tiny, and then here, a little triangle, and that's really it. That's all we need there, guys. Super cute. You might could add a couple of lines in here. Really, you can darken some of those. I might take some in some of those areas if you like. Sometimes I do this at the end, and I feel like it needs something more with the black and white pens. Give it a little more depth. But I think it's super cute. His nose might be a bit fat, but you know what? I don't even care. This one looks more like a teddy bear than the scary one. Oh god, look what I did. Oh my god, are you kidding me? See, this is a good lesson in. Once you finish it, just leave it. I fixed it. Okay, we're good. We're good. We're not touching it anymore. We're happy. Okay, guys, let's peel it up and see what we got. And you know what? The Bears, Caleb Williams, the rest of you guys, go. You can do it. And if you don't win in the off season, you join me for some watercolor tutorials. We'll have them. Be so fun. I'm loving it, guys. I hope you are too. I hope this is a fun winter scene for you. I love this little guy. I just love him. And guess what? He's going to beat the Rams. He's going to beat up the Rams. So however cute he looks, he is fierce. Okay, guys, I'm so glad you joined me. Happy weekend, whether or not you're into the NFL playoffs. I hope you have something fun coming up, and catch me for another tutorial coming soon. Take care.